Hello, welcome back to Otter Pop Culture. Today we're going over the Glasgow-based group called CHVRCHES and their fourth album called Screen Violence. So I am a maybe like 2 years ago, kind of a fan of CHVRCHES. I took so long to get into them. Meanwhile, basically almost all my friends knew them and loved them, and they're like, oh my god, have you not heard of them, blah blah blah. Which is like, I have heard of them, I needed something to pull me into it. And what actually pulled me into them were I want to say what soundtrack they were on. I think it was one of the Hunger Games soundtracks. Like, one of my friends were playing it, and I was like, oh, this is CHVRCHES. So I got into that song, and then from then on, I went on to going into Every Open Eye, which I loved, and then Love Is Dead, which came out in 2018, and I love that one too. So I felt like I got a whole idea of who they were. So I was like, okay, cool. I think I'm good enough to go into the next album. And I knew there was a next album coming because How to Not Drown, and I saw Good Girls. I saw those two singles, and one of them I think I put out on my Friday picks. So yeah, so here we are, and this album is a bit of a difficult one for me because there's some songs I couldn't really exactly break down. They actually talk about what it like. I couldn't really break down exactly what it was about. So, or some of them were about. The other ones I definitely could figure it out, but some I didn't. And I knew the whole thing was that they wanted to do a more escapism type of album, but of course it went from escapism into, okay, now it's still personal. This one is supposed to be about screens, whether it's on screen, by screens, or through screens. And I wish I had more knowledge on that, or felt like I could feel it more in this album. I felt like I kind of felt it in some songs, but not in all the songs. I do feel like when they point out that the three things that it's about, it's pretty much feeling wise, is loneliness, disillusionment, and fear. I definitely got that in pretty much every song. So let me go over some of the songs I like and maybe do some shout outs to some other songs. And yeah, we'll get to that, and then I'll kind of tell you my full-on review and rating at the end. So starting off with the first song, "Asking for a Friend." I love how this song kicks off the album. I love it. I think it sounds really nice. I love the production. This one I feel like it's about maybe spending one last time with a partner before you guys go off on your own directions. But it also feels like if we're touching about loneliness and disillusion kind of direction, maybe it's talking about actually, I don't really know. I feel like there's something about talking about something else too, because I feel like even that, me talking about like spending one last night together, sounds about right, but it sounds like it could be too surface. But you feel that when it says the past is in the past, it isn't meant to last, and then it goes into, but if I can't let go, will you carry me home? Can we celebrate the end? Asking for a friend. And then she goes on and says, I cheated, I lied about, but I meant meant it when I cried, because I sunk some ships with selfish lips. So it seems like it's a weird kind of like she's putting fault on herself, and she understands that she's at fault in this direction, but she still kind of wants to say if we can kind of have a nice little kind of ending to it, like a nice little kind of closure, I guess. Going into actually we're going to go into a shout out. So shout out to the song California, which pretty much talks about the illusion of California, while thinking that you're gonna make it, you're gonna have all these like stardom, and everybody's gonna be around you, and everything's gonna work out, and you don't have to be fake. But it's completely the opposite. And more and more and more bands and singers who come from all over the place will go down to LA, the one part of like LA, and completely just feel like they don't belong, and feel like they're just this thing about being fake and always keeping up with this like illusion of who you are, and people just kind of like are pretty much not really there for you, and they're more there for like the idea of you, or the what you can make, what they can make, what money they can make off of you kind of direction. It sucks that they keep on throwing California as the direction, like, oh, California sucks, California's doing this to me, California's hurting me. No. LA, Los Angeles is hurting you. Los Angeles seems to be one of the places that has that kind of like feeling, and I definitely feel that too as somebody that also lives in California, but I don't live in LA. It's one of those things that when I do visit and when I do hear about with stories from friends and everything, it's like, yeah, it's pretty fake. It's it's kind of like, what do you do kind of thing attitude, more than like, let's be friends because of who you are, or, well, maybe it's because you are, but you have to be famous. And I feel like that kind of thing is getting really noticed about a lot of people, but I like to defend California and say that that's not the full-on feeling all over California. Like NorCal is way more relaxed about things, and actually I've seen way more Bay Area artists are way more creative and way more space. I actually like where they are over going down to LA. So yeah, it's sad that she's just like, why didn't anybody tell me? It's like, have you listened to the last decades of songs that talk about coming to California? And they're like, yeah, this sucks, we're going back to New Zealand or whatever, #Lord. Going into the next one, or going to another one I like, which is the second single to this album, How Not to Drown, featuring Robert Smith. This is a powerful song, and it's very sad, but it's very interesting and it's very relatable. This pretty much talks about dealing with crippling depression and anxiety, and it's kind of like I like the way that it seems like that the band's trying to fix itself with individual song verses, but trying to, like, as she says, she starts the song with, I'm writing a book about on how to stay conscious while you drown. And it's like a weird space of just like, it's kind of funny, it's just to have a direction of saying like, oh, how to stay afloat in your mind while shit's going crazy. And I love the part where she says, tell me how it's better to not make a sound, to make no sound. I will never escape these doubts. I wasn't dead when they found me. Watch as they pull me down. So it makes me wonder, is like, maybe they were okay and doing fine before, but then as I always lose my place in this. But as they were found, or when the anxiety and when the anxiousness and everything found, it just pulled them all the way down and to a place where they don't recognize, you know. I love the part where Robert comes in saying, I ran a chapter on what to do after they dig you up, on what to do after you grew to hate what you used to love. So it seems like these anxiety and depression kind of really bubbles into you to the point where even the things that you do to find happiness, to enjoy yourself, can look very dull and look very sad and just not really connect with you as much, to the point where you hate it. You don't want to do it, you know? And I think that's a sad part about like anxiety and about depression, because it just takes you down and makes you not feel like doing anything, or makes you not want to really be part of that like happiness. Sometimes it's addicting to be in that space. So I feel like that's what they're saying in this. Final Girl is another one I really, really like. I love the weird kind of creepy production it has. It actually matches a really good kind of scary movie kind of direction. So it fits with the Final Girl title. This song I feel like is about thinking about like kind of self-conscious about the things that she would change. She maybe should change to be more accepted, and it's very overthinking and really going into her like lightly kind of picking herself apart, and it kind of sad to listen to. It says, and it feels like the weight is too much to carry. I should quit, maybe go and get married. Only time will tell. And then it goes into, and wonder if I should have changed my accent, tried to make myself a little more attractive. Only time will tell. And I feel like in that direction, it's like, only time will tell if I end up leaning into that, or I stand up to myself, it's like, no, this is who I am. I embrace who I am, and that will be it. But you never know. Things might change. time will tell where my mindset may go over time, you know? At the end part I really love is in the final cut, in the final scene, there's a final girl, and you knew that she should be screaming. So it seems like a weird space of maybe hope, because it sounds like, you know, she should be screaming. So you understand if she's scared. You completely get it if she's scared, but at the same time she's not screaming, and maybe that's a nice little hold on to yourself. It's just like maybe she's holding on to a little bit of hope that it will get better, or that she don't need to scream, I guess. Good Girls is the next one I really like. This one talks about the not living up to the way that society wants you to be, hashtag the way that the society want women to be. And she questions a lot of it. She says, is it easier when you don't have to count to 10, when you don't have to pretend? I want to know what that feels. I want to know that feeling. And it's a weird space, because it's like, I think that even if you're following the lines of where society wants you to be, you're still pretending, because if that's not who you are, you're pretending. And I feel like that's completely to not have to pretend is kind of just like, I think they are pretending. It's just more making it easier, make it seem like it's not pretending, you know? Good girls don't cry, good girls don't lie, and good girls justify, but I don't. I love that part. It's reminding herself, she's like, no, I'm not going to be that type of person that people want me to be in that direction, and not cry, and not be vulnerable, not express myself, not make mistakes, not be human, you know? And I think that she's saying, like, I am going to be human. I'm going to be whoever I feel like it's right, you know, not what you want me to be. And I love the part where she says, I never had a taste for liars or the uniquely uninspired, because I don't need to be desired. So it seems like it's because they want you to change this way so you can be more desirable and do this thing. So if you're doing these things that society wants you to do, then you'll be loved, and then you'll get married, and then people will want you more. And she's like, if that's what I have to do to be liked and be accepted or be desired, no, I don't want to be. That's not really being me. Lullaby is the next one I really like. This one talks about escaping reality with screens. I love the part where she says, paralyzed and spinning backwards, lullabies don't comfort me. Televised, a great disaster, we're better off inside the screen. I wonder if that's kind of like a mix between like reality shows, where it's just like it's easier to kind of watch disaster happen, or watch somebody have their own kind of space of disaster, knowing that you're not attached to it, kind of thing. It makes it nice to feel better about your own issues that are going on with you. Or it's saying it's easier to be distracted by reality, what's going on. Maybe the reality is just shitty. It's better to just kind of just fade into the TV or the internet, or, you know, just doing stuff to like kind of distract you in that direction. Even though it is toxic even though the toxicity is also inside the screens. And then finally, the song that I really like is Better If You Don't. I feel like this is two things. I feel like it's going off with the disguise of like moving on after a breakup, but I really feel like it's talking about California again. It's talking about moving on after California, after leaving California, and talking about like Tinseltown was always in the rain. I've been gone, but noticed every change, and now some of them are not our friends, and some of them are still our friends, but dead. And I feel like when she means dead, I don't think that they actually died. I think it more meant they're in the system now. They're in the LA system of being that kind of fake, artificial direction, and they're lost. They're lost to that system, and that sucks. But they're still your friends, you know? It's better off, and one part I like is, it's better if I don't think too much about you. I've been on my own, so I should see it through. It's better if you don't care, but if you do, I won't follow you again. Pretty much saying, if I'm still in your mind, don't let it be in your mind. If California's still pulling you in, LA. If LA's still pulling you in, I'd rather they didn't pull me in, and I won't go back again, kind of thing. And also embracing that fact, like, okay, I left. I know I think about it too much, because I wonder if it's like, is this fucking with my career? It's not, now that I'm not part of the LA direction, I don't have the LA boost, will that fuck me up, you know? Or will I still have fans? Will I still be able to stay true to what my sound is, you know? And I feel like that's what the band's saying in that song. So I think I feel like I like the other albums better than this one, but I do like some of the songs on this. So I think I would give it a 7 out of 10. Leave a comment below, tell me what you thought. If you like this album, or if you find this album much better than you thought, maybe even you have some more like information about the songs maybe I didn't really get correctly, please let me know. I love if fans of, like, super fans of Churches diving in, or fans of any other show or videos that I make kind of dive in and say, like, oh, did you know, blah, 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 blah. Like, I love that. So if you have that, drop it down into the comments. If you like this video, hit the like button, subscribe button, notification bell too. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.